All right, so today we're going to dive deep into the life and times of Bill Gates.
Yes. Yep.
Using the materials that you provided here, it looks like we have a transcript from like his daily mindset boost show.
Right.
And then like another one from like a success stories podcast or something like that.
Okay.
But yeah, so we're going to basically try to extract like the key insights, the pivotal moments that shaped his journey.
Sure.
And hopefully, the listener will come away with a little bit better understanding of kind of how he became who he is.
Absolutely. It's really interesting to look at someone's life, from these different angles.
Yeah.
You've got sort of a personal perspective.
Right.
Alongside, an analysis from outside.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to give us some good insights into kind of what made him tick.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so Bill Gates, born in Seattle, 1955.
Yep.
And it seems like right out of the gate.
Yeah.
There were signs, both sources kind of point to his enrollment at Lakeside School because it had a more advanced curriculum. But the real turning point, the moment where things seemed to click, is when he encountered a teletype terminal.
Right.
At the age of 13.
At 13. Yeah. And this is, think about it for a second. This is not your typical school experience.
Nah.
Imagine being 13 years old and you suddenly have access to a machine where you can type commands and it does stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing to me how that interaction, that initial encounter with a mainframe computer,
Yeah.
that's what ignited this incredible passion in him.
It seems like it, yeah, and it wasn't just the fascination, it's that like he immediately dove into programming.
Exactly.
And like they even talk about how like he and Paul Allen would like exploit bugs in the system to get free computer time.
Yeah, they were pushing the boundaries.
Yeah.
They wanted to see what they could do.
Yeah.
And that led to, them getting temporarily banned.
Yeah.
But that just shows you like their drive, your curiosity to explore the limits of what this technology could do.
Absolutely. And that partnership with Paul Allen really jumps out at you right away.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a recurring theme.
They weren't just, learning in isolation. They were feeding off each other. They were pushing each other.
Bouncing ideas off each other, yeah.
It's like in that Success Stories episode or whatever, they talk about them hacking into systems just for fun.
Right,
Yeah.
just to see if they could...
Yeah, and it wasn't just for fun. It's like they quickly moved into trying to create a business out of it.
Yeah.
They created this thing, Trafo data.
Trafo data in high school?
I mean, analyzing traffic data.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the most exciting thing.
Yeah, maybe not the sexiest startup idea.
But the point is they were identifying a real world problem.
Right.
And they were trying to use technology to solve it.
Exactly. And I think what's important to remember here for you, the listener, is that even though Trafo data didn't exactly make them millionaires,
Yeah.
it was such a crucial learning experience.
Right.
They got to go through the whole process of creating a tech product, for the idea to actually developing it and even trying to sell it.
Right.
And that's a really valuable lesson. It didn't become a huge success,
Right.
but it informed everything they did later on.
For sure, for sure. And it's interesting, the Success Stories source, talks about Gates being a bookworm with a sharp mind.
Yeah.
Which, just underscores that intellectual curiosity that we see even from a young age.
Absolutely.
And we can't forget, his first program, a tic-tac-toe game at 13.
Classic.
It just shows you, that urge to create.
To make the machine do something.
So fast forward a bit.
Okay.
He enrolls at Harvard in 1973.
Huge achievement, right?
I mean, huge accomplishment, but it seems like from both sources, his heart really wasn't in it.
Yeah, his passion was somewhere else.
And this is where things get really interesting for you, the listener.
Okay.
We have the January 1975 issue of Popular Electronics.
Popular Electronics, okay.
And it features the Altair 8800.
The Altair 8800.
Oh,
All right,
yeah.
so why is this such a big deal?
Yeah, I mean, explain to us why this moment was so crucial.
Well, you got to understand, this is like the very early days of personal computing.
Okay.
The Altair was one of the first ones available, but it was basically a kit.
A kit.
It didn't have the software that you needed to make it actually useful.
Yeah.
For most people.
So it was like a computer without an operating system.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And Gates and Allen, they saw this.
Right.
They saw this opportunity and they did something really bold.
Okay.
They contacted Epps,
Yeah,
the company that made the Altair,
okay.
and they told them, hey, we have a basic interpreter ready to go.
Wow.
Now, the thing is, they hadn't actually written it yet.
They hadn't written it.
No, but they had the confidence.
So they were bluffing.
Well, I wouldn't call it bluffing. They had the vision.
Okay.
And they knew they could pull it off.
All right, so they basically made a promise that they hadn't fulfilled yet?
Exactly. And they had just weeks to deliver.
Wow.
But they did it.
So they actually managed to create the basic interpreter in just a few weeks.
Yeah, I mean, that shows you the level of skill and dedication they had.
I mean, that's incredible. And this directly led to the creation of Microsoft in 1975.
Right there it is, the birth of Microsoft.
And I thought it was cool how Success Stories pointed out the name.
Yeah.
It's a combination of microcomputer and software.
Right there in the name.
It's like they knew from the start what they were all about.
They had a clear vision. And the thing is, they didn't just stop there.
Right.
Gates made a huge decision. He left Harvard.
He dropped out.
Yeah, he dropped out of Harvard.
Wow.
I mean, think about that.
Yeah.
Most people would consider Harvard like the pinnacle of success.
Yeah.
But he was willing to walk away from that.
To pursue his vision.
To pursue his vision. And I think that's a big takeaway for you, the listener.
Yeah.
You got to be willing to take risks.
Calculated risks.
Yeah, calculated risks.
Okay.
You know, sometimes the biggest risks lead to the biggest rewards.
And they didn't just like stay put, they moved
They moved to Albuquerque.
to Albuquerque.
Yeah, where
Yep.
MICE was based.
Wow. So they were all in.
All in committed.
Yeah. Okay. So we've got Microsoft. It's up and running.
Uh-huh.
But then comes the deal that really launches them into the stratosphere.
The IBM deal.
Yeah, the IBM deal. So tell us about that.
So in 1980, IBM, the biggest name in computers at the time,
Right.
they're making their first personal computer,
Okay.
and they need an operating system.
Okay.
Gates, he sees this opportunity, and he acquires this thing called QDOS.
QDOS.
Yeah, it stood for Quick and Dirty Operating System.
Wow, that's a great name.
Not very glamorous,
Mm-hmm.
but it worked, and they rebranded it as MS-DOS.
MS-DOS. Okay, so that's the operating system for the IBM PC.
Exactly, but here's the genius move.
Okay.
They retained the rights to license MS-DOS to other companies.
Ah, so they weren't just tied to IBM.
No, they were thinking bigger.
Wow.
They saw the potential for an entire ecosystem of personal computers.
And they wanted to be the operating system for all of them.
Exactly, and that was a brilliant move.
Yeah, it really was. And then, of course, we have Windows in 1985.
Windows.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a game changer.
It changed the way people interacted with computers.
Yeah, it made them so much more user-friendly.
Right.
You didn't have to be a programmer to use a computer anymore.
Yeah, it opened up the world of computing to so many more people.
Exactly. And, by the 1990s,
Yeah.
Windows is dominant.
Yeah.
Gates becomes a billionaire at the age of 31.
31, that's insane.
And his vision of a computer on every desk in every home,
Yeah.
it's becoming a reality.
Yeah, but it's important to remember that this period wasn't without its controversies.
Right.
There were antitrust lawsuits.
Yeah.
People were criticizing Microsoft's business practices.
Yeah. Some people felt they were too aggressive.
Yeah, so it's not like it was a universally praised ascent to the top.
No, there were definitely challenges along the way.
But his impact on the world of technology is undeniable.
Absolutely. And then in 2000,
Yeah.
we see this major shift.
He steps down as CEO of Microsoft.
Yeah, he decides to focus on philanthropy.
I mean, that's a huge change.
He's achieved this incredible success in business,
Yeah.
and he decides to dedicate his time and resources to something completely different.
Yeah, to making a difference in the world.
Exactly. And that's when we see the launch of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation.
Yeah, the Gates Foundation, one of the largest charitable organizations in the world.
Yeah, they focused on some really important issues.
Disease eradication,
Yeah, malaria, polio.
education poverty.
It's really remarkable, the scope of their ambition.
Yeah, and then there's the Giving Pledge,
Right.
where he committed to giving away most of his wealth.
Yeah, that's huge. And it's something he started with Warren Buffett.
So he's not just, giving money away. He's encouraging other wealthy people to do the same.
Exactly. And I think this later stage of his career really shows that he's not just about making money.
Yeah.
He's about using his resources to make a positive impact on the world.
And he's still going strong, you know? He's involved in clean energy,
Yeah.
AI, global health.
Constantly looking for new challenges.
Yeah, so as we wrap up this deep dive into the life of Bill Gates,
Okay.
what are some of the key takeaways for our listeners?
Well, first of all, I think it's clear that passion and curiosity are incredibly powerful forces.
Yeah.
Gates' fascination with computers from a young age that drove everything.
So like that initial spark ignited a fire that never went out.
Exactly. And then recognizing and seizing opportunities.
The Altair moment.
The Altair moment. Yeah. Seeing the potential and acting on it decisively.
And then the willingness to take risks.
Yeah. Leaving Harvard, that was a huge risk.
But it paid off.
It paid off. And I think it's important to remember that, you don't have to drop out of Harvard to take risks.
Right.
But you got to be willing to step outside your comfort zone.
To pursue your vision.
Exactly. and then having a clear vision that's essential.
Yeah, seeing where things are going.
Yeah, Gates saw the potential of personal computing before most people.
And finally, the ability to adapt and evolve.
Yeah, he went from the world of software to philanthropy.
Two completely different fields.
But he brought the same energy and focus to both.
It's really inspiring, and it makes you think.
It does.
What are the emerging technologies today that have the potential to change the world?
Yeah, what's the next big thing?
And what role can we play in shaping that future?
Yeah, that's something for you, the listener, to think about.
It's a question worth pondering.
Definitely.
All right, well, that's it for today's deep dive into the life of Bill Gates.
Thanks for having me.
We hope you found it informative and inspiring.
Yeah, until next time.
Keep on learning.
Keep on diving